and you are watching my YouTube channel Learners of Civil Engineering. Guys, today again I am having a very interesting test for you guys, which is known as hydrometer analysis. The ASTM code of hydrometer analysis is ASTM D7928. This test is performed for the soil passed from sieve number 200. The size of sieve number 200 is 75 micron or 0.075 millimeter. Now, anything which is finer than 75 micron are known as silt and clay. The size of silts start from 74 micron and ends on 2 micron, and the size of clay is less than 2 micron. The hydrometer analysis is based on Stokes law. Stokes law says that when a particle of soil will be suspended in water, so in the beginning, under the action of gravity, its velocity will start increasing, and a time will reach when this velocity will become constant, and this constant velocity will be known as a terminal velocity, and the equation of terminal velocity he gave us is Vt is equal to rho s minus rho w divided by 18 eta into d square, where rho s is the density of soil, rho w is the density of water, eta is the viscosity of water, and d is the diameter of the soil particles. So rearranging this equation, we can get the size of silt and clay via the hydrometer analysis. Before selecting hydrometer analysis, we will perform the sieving via sieve number 200, and if let's suppose less than 10% of the material will be passed from sieve number 200, then there is no need of hydrometer analysis, and if let's suppose more than 10% of the material will be passed from sieve number 200, then there is a need of hydrometer analysis, and we will perform the hydrometer analysis. Now the equipment that will be used in the hydrometer analysis, number first will be this sedimentation jar. The capacity of this sedimentation jar is 1000 ml or 1 liter. It is having this cork on top of it, a balance for recording different weights, a thermometer to record the temperature of the soil and water suspension. This is known as high-speed stirrer, with the help of which we can perform the stirring operation for the disintegration or separation of the individual particles of soil from each other. A hydrometer, you can use two types of hydrometers, ASTM 152H hydrometer and ASTM 151H hydrometer. ASTM 152H hydrometer record the density of soil in suspension with a range of -5 to 60 gram per milliliter, and ASTM 151H hydrometer records the specific gravity of soil in the range of 0.995 to 1.038. From here to here, this is known as the stem of the hydrometer, and this is known as the bulb of the hydrometer. This stem is graduated in gram per milliliter. Now, hydrometer is a very brittle device. You have to always use this device with care. Like, you cannot use it horizontally from its stem. You will have to always hold this from the bulb, because it can be broken down at this particular location. Even if you want to take it from the cover, again you will take it out in a straight manner like this. Okay, and once you will take it out from the covering, then you can hold it from the stem. Sieve number 200 for taking the representative soil sample. Sodium hexametaphosphate is a dispersion agent. Now let us start the procedure. The step number 1 is the sample preparation. In this step, I will take the soil sample and will try to pass it from sieve number 200. I will start the sieving. Now anything written on sieve number 200 will be discarded, and anything passed from sieve number 200 will be oven dried at a temperature of 100 degrees centigrade for 24 hours for proper drying. Now after oven drying, select the sample weights. If it is a sandy soil, then take about 100 grams from the oven dried material, and if it will be a clayey soil, then take about 50 grams from the oven dried soil sample. As our soil is silty clay soil, so I will take about 50 grams. Now this is the material that I will use in the test. This is known as sample preparation. Now second step is dispersion. In dispersion, first of all, I will have to prepare a standard dispersion solution. Now what is standard dispersion solution? Standard dispersion solution is that solution, the 1 liter of which will contain 33 gram of sodium hexametaphosphate and 7 gram of sodium carbonate. So let me measure 33 gram of sodium hexametaphosphate. As I am not having sodium carbonate inside my lab, so I can increase the amount of sodium hexametaphosphate, because the function of sodium hexametaphosphate and sodium carbonate is again the same, which is dispersion. So let me take out the 40 gram of them. Now this is 40 gram of sodium hexametaphosphate. I will put this quantity inside the sedimentation cylinder, and I will fill this sedimentation cylinder to its 1000 milliliter graduation mark with water. Now after adding water to its 1000 milliliter graduation, I will now start shaking the sedimentation jar so that the chemical will be properly dissolved inside the water. Now our standard dispersion solution is ready. Now about 100 ml of the standard dispersion solution will be added to water. Yeah, this is exactly 100 ml. I will add this to the soil sample, the 50 gram silty clay soil sample. I will use the soil sample having dispersion solution for about 10 minutes for proper dispersion, and this is known as chemical dispersion. After chemical dispersion, the soil sample will be transferred to the cup of the high-speed stirrer. and this machine will be turned on. Now if your soil sample is silky soil, then perform the stirring for about 3 minutes. Okay, and if your soil sample is silty clay soil, then perform the stirring for 3 to 5 minutes. As our soil sample is silty clay soil, so I will do it as stirring of about 5 minutes. Now let's start the high speed stirrer. Now after 5 minutes of stirring, I will start the high speed stirrer. With this process I am done with the mechanical dispersion as well. Now I will transfer the soil sample to the sedimentation cylinder. Now about 1000 ml soil suspension is ready. I will put the stopper on top of it and will again shake it for proper dispersion of soil sample inside the water. Once proper shaking will be performed, I will put the soil suspension on a level surface. I will take out the stopper and will insert the hydrometer inside the soil suspension. You can see this hydrometer is performing some up and down motion and some circumferential motion. I will again give it a rotational motion with my fingers, so that if any entrapped air will be inside the soil suspension, it will be removed. Now once this hydrometer will become stable, then we will take the reading of the hydrometer at time t is equal to 0. Now I am mentioning this time as t is equal to 0. Now what is the reading of the hydrometer? The reading of the hydrometer is basically the reading on the stem of the hydrometer corresponding to the surface of suspension. Okay, so I will just take this reading and will record this in the proforma. Now after 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 250 minutes and 30 minutes, I will record the respective hydrometer readings and will take the temperature of the soil suspension as well. For this, I will insert the thermometer inside the soil suspension for about 3 minutes. And will record the temperature of the suspension.
Now guys, let us do the calculations in Excel. Guys, this is the table that I will use in the calculations. The first column is the elapsed time. You can see time t is equal to 0, 2, 5, 15, 30, 60, 250 and 14, 40, for which I have taken the hydrometry readings. This is the column where I will record the hydrometry readings. So the corresponding hydrometer readings at t is equal to 0 is 0, at t is equal to 2 is 39, and at 40 minutes, which becomes 24 hours, is 6. Now this is the row for the corresponding temperature, in which I will record the temperature at each and every moment. Effective depth L. For ASTM 152 H hydrometer, I am having the formula L is equal to 16.29 minus 0.164 R, where R is the hydrometer reading. So let's suppose if I am talking about this hydrometer, this effective depth L. So over here the hydrometry reading is 39. So I will get the value of L is 9.91. So this is how we can calculate this effective depth L. Now for K, now this is the table which will be used for the determination of K value. In this table we will use the value of K from the values of specific gravity and temperature. Let's suppose if the temperature was 20 and the value of specific gravity was 2.65, then the value of K will be 0.01365. Let's suppose if the temperature was 22 degrees centigrade and the specific gravity was 1.5, then the value of K will be 0.01397. Now comes the diameter. For the diameter, again I am having this formula. D is equal to K into L by T under the root. So now all the necessary parameters for these equations are available with me. I have calculated K, I have calculated L, and the corresponding values of time are also with me. So I can easily calculate diameter using that formula. Now for the person finder, I can use this formula. PF is equal to RC into A divided by WB into 100, where RC is the corrected hydrometry reading for temperature and meniscus. In my case, these corrections are negligible, so I will skip. A is the specific gravity correction factor. For this, I can use this formula. A is equal to G divided by G minus 1 into 2.65 minus 1 divided by 2.65. WB is the bisample weight. In my case, this is equal to 50 gram because 50 gram of the material I have taken. So putting all the required values into that particular equation, we will get the percent finer data. Now time comes for plotting a gradation curve. Gradation curve is drawn between grain size on x-axis in millimeter and percent finer on y-axis in percentage. So I will get this curve, you can see. So guys, this is how the calculations and testing procedure for the hydrometry analysis are done in the lab. Guys, I think this video was useful for you. Like and share this video, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further updates. Thank you so much. God bless you.